And there's always a race within the race. And right now, I think one of the most interesting storylines is who's going to finish second in the Constructors Championship behind Red Bull. And right now, that's between Aston Martin and Mercedes, as you say, as Ferrari tries to continue to get its act together and we see more consistency there. Who would you say has more pressure to perform, Aston or Mercedes in Austria?
Well, I think throughout this year, there's way more pressure on Mercedes because what Aston Martin have done already, what they've got in the bank, is a big step from whatever it was, P7 in the Constructors last year to challenging for P2 is significant. So I think, at all times more pressure is on Mercedes because they themselves admit that they are not where they want to be. Okay, they're making progress as they get back, but the reality was they went into this year thinking that, they could be able to fight for a world championship, and they're clearly not there. So I think the pressure is always more on Mercedes, but in terms of who's going to come out on top on that, I think it's that's a really interesting one because the Mercedes seemed very good in high speed corners in Spain. It's got an upgrade which has kind of targeted overall performance boost, but also trying to tackle some of those low speed issues. There's a few low speed bits in Austria, not many. It's mainly high speed. But anyway, so I feel like on paper it probably suits Mercedes more, and that could mean that Lewis and Georgia are up there, at the front of that kind of chasing pack. I don't think they'll be quite with Red Bull, but they'll be up there. Whereas Aston Martin, I think they had a recent upgrade package as well, but I think they're still trying to get the very best out of that. And we'll see how it pans out. I mean, with Fernando Alonso around, like a podium's always possible, isn't it?
He says so. He actually guarantees it from here on to the rest of the season. And I think it's been fun watching he and Lewis Hamilton battle throughout these races. Do you think that second place in the Constructors ultimately comes down to the second drivers on these teams between George Russell and Lance Stroll and their performances for the rest of the season?
Yeah, and if it does, then Mercedes are going to win that battle, like no doubt. Because George, okay, had a bit of misfortune in.
Been very consistent.
I don't know, maybe misfortune isn't the right word in Canada. He made a mistake in Canada, but he's more consistent than Stroll, and I think just fundamentally shown better performance than Stroll this year. But Stroll has his reasons. There have been issues along the way, broken flaws in qualifying, things like that, and missed opportunities in Miami with how many tires they used in qualifying. And so look, there's part of me which thinks that if Stroll can get it all together, then he'll at least be where Aston Martin need him to be, which is in the fight, in the mix with Mercedes and ahead of the Red Bulls. And he's done that once or twice this year. But consistency is absolutely the key to that. And I think if anything, Mercedes look like they're accelerating a bit more with their progress on the car. So more than ever, Aston Martin needs Stroll to step up.
Yeah, no doubt about it.
Thanks for watching ESPN on YouTube. And for more sports highlights and analysis, be sure to download the ESPN app. And for premium content plus live streaming, make sure to subscribe to ESPN Player.